Right, good afternoon. Got something completely different today. Well, not completely different, but a bit different. Something new, something I've never seen before. What do you think of that? Look at the pickup configuration. Humbucker, humbucker, single. Obviously been adapted in its time. The big dragon carve in there. Very nice guitar. It's a Strat, obviously. Kind of a Strat. Can you guess what it is? Well, let's show you. Aria. Aria Pro 2 no less. So I'd imagine 80s. Wood, I don't know what wood it is. Nice big solid piece of wood there. Dark, stained. Very nice. You've got maple neck obviously with maple fingerboard. Nice big fat chunky frets here. I'd say jumbo, maybe medium jumbo. Steel adjustable neck, interesting, made in Japan. A few things spring to mind when you first see this. One, for instance, there's a switch here. The owner didn't know what that was. He says it seemed to have a tone on the middle pickup. Well, it didn't, it wasn't that. I know exactly what it is because I've tried it out. I plugged it in when it was here. It's a coil split for this humbucker. A couple of things spring to mind that need doing with this. Tremolo's arching forwards, bending forwards like that, so we need to alter the springs and set the balance out on the tremolo, get that floating properly. The pickups in the recess here are far too low, they're like a centimetre, this one's a centimetre from the strings. We need to bring that up, we need to bring this one up, it's about 8mm down there. So straight away, we've got them jobs to do. The neck's pretty straight. This is basically going to have a full bit, it's going to have a complete setup, so basically what we do, oh, tuners as well by the way. I don't know what they are, mate. They're lockable tuners. I don't know what brand they are. If they're original to the guitar, I'd imagine they're in Japanese. I'd imagine they're Goto, but that's just a complete guess. I can't see no branding on there at all. So there you go. Very unique guitar, one I've never come across before. So like I say, this doesn't get a full bit, complete setup. Basically, a full setup, complete setup is a complete strip and rebuild from the bottom up, including electrics, tremolo. I'm going to check the electrics, any crackling in there or any loose one, we'll check the wiring, check the parts, we'll get some switch cleaner in there, we'll clean up the knobs, get it a good clean, and I'm going to give this the full bit. I'm not going to video the work I'm doing because we all know what it entails. The frets look okay. I'm going to check see if there's any eye frets. If there's not any eye frets, we'll just give them a polish up there. We'll check the nut looks absolutely bang on actually, the action looks fine on the nut, so I don't think I need to touch anything there. But basically we'll give it a strip, a rebuild, get some new strings on there, give it a good clean, and very nice. Why the dragon is upside down, I don't know, because that's right way up. So I've got no idea, but nice looking guitar, it's got some weight in there. Weighs are good. I don't know what it weighs. £7, £7.5 maybe. Is that heavy for a Strat? I don't know. So there you go. The tremolo looks really good quality. Nice big block in there, steel block or brass block. The looks of it. I'll have a look when I get the bottom off in a bit. And I'm going to blob on with that. That's the job. Last job I've got today. That I've just done an ESP over there with Floyd Rose for Samir Barter from Rebecca Lane guitarist. That's all done. That can go back tomorrow. We'll crack on with Aria and see where we are with it, see how we get on. So come back with an update later. Right, back with a little update on this Aria Pro 2 Dragon. It's a great one, this one. I've just been on the phone to the owner asking if the bridge has ever been changed, and apparently it hasn't. Now, this is a problem I've never come across before. Very strange one. It's a strange one to think that if it was manufactured this way, they actually let this one go. The problem being, see here, saddles, see how I've got them adjusted back as far as they'll go. And the reason saddles are on a screw with a spring between the saddle and the bridge itself is so we can adjust them forwards or backwards and the spring holds them in place. Now the reason we can go forwards or and backwards is, well, guitars are determined, the tuning and the intonation is determined by the scale length, and the scale length is the measurement from here, the nut, to the bridge, specifically the saddles here, and halfway between the bridge and the nut is the 12th fret. Now the scale length is from a nut to the 12th fret doubled In this case 12 3/4 inches, taking it to 25.5 inches here at this end. Now I've measured it all, blah blah blah, take my word for it. Now when we do the intonation on the guitar, what we're looking for is, when the string's played open, we also need the harmonic at the 12th fret and the 12th fret of the note fretted at the 12th fret, all to be in perfect tuning with each other. If they're not, if the note is out, sharp or flat, if it's flat for instance, we move the saddle towards the neck, and if it's sharp we move the saddle towards the bridge. Now all the notes on the 12th fret are sharp, meaning we have to adjust the saddles this way, away from the 12th fret towards the bridge. Now I've moved these saddles as far as they'll go, and 4 of them are still not giving me enough movement that way to get the intonation right on the 12th fret. So I've talked to Carlos, the owner of this guitar, and barring changing the bridge, which may look likely, but we'll try not to go that route, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go between the saddles here, I'm going to remove the springs and I'm going to adjust them all the way back and see how close we can get. Very, very unusual to get something manufactured in Japan and something as such a prestigious company as Aria to come across something like this. I first thought that the bridge here was not long enough this way, and maybe it's 3/4 centimetre shorter. We don't have enough adjustment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and fix this, get the intonation right, because if the intonation's not right here at the 12th fret, once we start playing, for instance now, I play that open, it's an E. Play it on the 12th fret, it's E slightly sharp. We need to alter the scale length here to get that E sharp. The longer we make the string length, the flatter this note on the 12th fret becomes. So the only option is to remove the springs and see if we've got enough adjustment on the saddle. Otherwise, we'll look at the place of the bridge. I've never come across this before, especially on a guitar. You expect it on some crap like a, I don't know, a not crafter, an Encore or something like Encore brand guitar or something cheap, but not on an Aria, not on, especially not on a Japanese made guitar. So I would suggest that this guitar has never ever played right in its 30-40 years or however old it is. Carlos seems to think it's from the 70s. I always thought the Aria Pro 2s were from the early 80s, 83, 84 onwards, but I could be wrong there. I don't know the full history of Aria, so, but very, very strange one. So I'm going to see what I can do. I'm sure I'll have enough adjustment if I remove the springs, but I shouldn't have to do that. There should be enough adjustment already on the bridge. Very, very strange one. So I'll get onto it and I'll come back and let you know how I get on with it. Talk to you soon. Right, good morning everyone. Amazing. This Aria with the scale length problem. Like I say, following on from last video, I talked to the owner, I asked if the bridge had ever been replaced. He says no, not as far as he knew, and he's had the guitar since the 70s. Now I found out since this guitar was released in 1976. We go for daft money sometimes, but anyway, back to the topic in hand there. So I asked if the bridge had been replaced. He says no, I don't think it has. Well, I took it off last night and I was absolutely right. See, I know what I'm doing. Look at that. They're 5mm that way. What's happened is they've took off the original bridge, a 6-screw affair there, which would have given me enough adjustment, brought it back here for the intonation, and they've moved it forward. Now I'll tell you for why they've moved it forward, and I didn't realise this until I talked to the owner about it and I was looking at it and I thought I'm going to take this bridge and I'm going to move it back. Now watch, when I move this where it needs to be, look at this where my finger is here, index finger, there's an hole there, and that's why they've gone and put it there, not realising that it's going to knacker up all the tuning and the intonation. This guitar, since it's had this bridge on, 35 year, has never been tuned correctly. Not once. I'm surprised that's never been noticed. So what I'm going to have to do is, I'm going to remove these 2 studs, these pins. I'm going to plug the holes, I'm going to get some glue in there, get some dowel in there, I'm going to plug the holes, take all the electrics off everything, blah de blah. And I'm going to chisel them flat, and I'm going to put a little bit of stain in there just to get to match the wood best I can. I'm going to fill all these holes here. I'm going to re-drill holes for these pins, these posts, bridge posts. I'm going to pull them back 5mm. Now I know it's going to bring it pretty close to this edge, but they're going where they're supposed to go. Meaning here, when I put the bridge back in, I have to route out some of this. Now if you look, this route hole, it's been routed before and it's been routed badly. So I'm going to route just inside this tape line. This tape line there is a rough guide. I'm going to build a template, which is a time consuming affair. You know, these things don't happen in 2 minutes. I'm going to take off all the scratch plate, electrics, everything. I'm going to make a template, and I'm going to get my router, and I'm going to route this hole back just a little bit there. We're going to get all nice and, because it's been routed badly before, so I'm going to just get this all shaped perfectly right as it should be. This is had routing done before, look, at the back. I didn't realise this. This routing, it's not brilliant. Looks like it's been done by hand, and it's been done, look at this. It's been here, and it's been done badly. So I'm going to get it all routed, get it all done, and we're going to use this bridge, because it's a good bridge, so I can get some springs back in there. We'll have enough adjustments on there now to get the intonation right. Obviously I'll be able to work again this guitar back today now. I'm going to need another couple of days on it. Like I say, I'm going to cut a template. I've got a big piece of what do you call it? Hardboard. Not hardboard, it is hardboard, is it? Plywood. About 5mm thick. I'll get a template made, get that done. And we'll give a guitar set up, blah de blah de blah. So it's going to be absolutely fine. It's just going to be a little bit more long-winded, a bit more work to do on it. I've talked to the owner, I've asked if he's really sure he wants me to do some writing on this, because it's going to probably take a bit of value off the guitar. But he says, no, go ahead, get it done, get it playable. Which is what I do. I get them spot on playable. I'm going to do it. Nice, clean, tidy job. I mean, that route, the more I look at that route there, the worse it is. Look at it. Look at the shape of it down here. Can you see shape of it? Whoever did that, don't know what they're doing. And the route again at the back, look at the shape of it here. At the top here and at the bottom here. Don't know what you can see inside there. It's not brilliant. So we'll get that tidied up. And that said, once the bridge is back on, it's going to play brilliant. This guitar has not been set up properly since that bridge has been there. How many years is that? 35 years? The owner has had it since the 70s, he says. Now these were released in 1976. Now what I was worried about, I didn't want to take any value off it, because I've seen these. Well, I don't know what they sold for, I've got no idea, but there was one advertised in Germany last year on eBay, and it were up for $1,000, which is about €900. Now, it would have been about €800 then, I imagine. Whether it's sold or not, I don't know. I think that's a little bit ambitious, because as rare as they are, there are quite a few of them about, I think. I don't know, I've got no idea. Also, another thing, it's probably going to want a new nut at this end. Whether I've got one in stock, I've got some in stock. Whether I've got flat ones, I don't know. I'll have a look at that. If I can use it again, I'll use it again. But I got these arriving in the post recently. I've been after these for a long while. An electric guitar nut cutting files by Hosco, Japan. They cost me nigh on 75 quid with import tax and this crappy raw mail handling fee. So I get to use these, cut a new nut. These are brilliant. I've used them once, absolutely brilliant. I'm glad I bought them. And 75 quid is not a lot of money when you get something this good that's going to last a long, long time. So that's it. It's where I am with this Aria. Cracking looking guitar. It was no surprise to me when I took the bridge off and saw them 6 holes here for the, and then I realised the bridge had been changed. So my suspicions, exactly what I thought. It's amazing, isn't it, that someone's had the guitar 35 years and, you know, and they weren't sure if it was the original bridge or not. It was only going looking on the internet, so no one's thinking that one right. Took it off. Bob's your uncle. So I didn't need to go and talk to anyone else. I actually knew why the guitar was not tuning in properly. It's another plus for me and another confidence booster for me, knowing that I know what I'm talking about. So that's it. I'm not going to do the guitar today because I've got other things lined up. This is going to be put on my back burner for a day or two. But what I'll do is I'll get the work done and I'll come back with an update when I'm ready for putting it all back together. So until then, be good to each other. I'll talk to you soon.